Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video will be the top 10 greatest emergency landings. What's an emergency landing, you ask? Let's say a plane had a problem, it needs to land. I can't think of anything else to say, so let's go in. Coming in at number 10, we have China Airlines Flight 006. On February 19th, 1985, China Airlines Flight 006 was on a flight from Taipei, I can't pronounce that, to Los Angeles. On board the Boeing 747 SP were 251 passengers. While approaching American land, the plane lost power to engine 4. Because the pilots were exhausted by working around the clock, they made several minor mistakes. When the engine lost power, the plane rolled over and experienced very high G-forces. But the pilots were very experienced and were able to recover the plane using a rapid dive. The plane diverted to San Francisco after suffering fatal damage. Next up at number 9, we have Ryanair Flight 4102. Ryanair Flight 4102 was operating a flight from Frankfurt Hahn Airport to Rome Ciampino Airport on 10th November 2008. Flight 4102 suffered multiple bird strikes. Both engines suffered severe damage. It successfully made an emergency landing at Rome Ciampino, where it was stranded on the runway for 36 hours. After the portside gear collapsed, it was estimated it suffered up to 90 bird strikes. Next up at number 8, we have United Airlines Flight 232. On July 19th, 1989, United Flight 232 was a DC-10. The flight originated from Stapleton International. Bound for Philadelphia, the plane's tail-mounted engine suffered a catastrophic failure. Almost all of the plane's systems failed and it lost all hydraulic power. The pilots attempted to make an emergency landing at Sioux City. It touched down a lot faster than normal because the pilots could not throttle down the engines or activate the flaps. During landing, it shot off the runway and it tipped over, losing a wing and breaking into multiple parts. There were 111 fatalities, although 182 survivors. Coming in at number 7, now we have British Airways Flight 9. British Airways Flight 9 was on a flight from London Heathrow to Auckland. The Boeing 747-200 was flying near Mount Galunggung, West Java, Indonesia. When it erupted, the plane suffered a quadruple engine failure caused by volcanic ash getting caught in the engines. The flight was diverted to Jakarta. It glided out of the ash cloud formed near it, and the pilots attempted to restart the engines, but they kept dying one by one. It successfully made an emergency landing at Jakarta. Next up at number 6, we have American Airlines Flight 96. American Airlines Flight 96 was a DC-10. On June 12, 1972, the plane's rear cargo door blew off. The cargo area suffered rapid decompression. The decompression caused a partial collapse of the passenger compartment floor. The flight had 2 stopovers while en route to LaGuardia Airport in New York. The accident occurred just after takeoff from the second stopover, Detroit. Then returned to Detroit for an emergency landing. Coming in at number 5, we have a DHL Airbus A300B4. In 2003, a DHL Airbus A300 cargo aircraft was hit by a surface-to-air missile attack. Yes, a missile attack. The plane was climbing through 8,000 feet when a missile was launched which hit the left wing's fuel tank, destroying the engine and burning through the left wing, cutting off hydraulic lines through the wing. The plane was forced to return to Baghdad Airport, where it rolled off the runway just after touchdown. The The plane made a full stop beside the runway. All 3 people on board survived. Now up at number 4, we have Pan Am Flight 6. On October 16th, 1954, a 4-engine all-propellered Pan Am Boeing 733 Stratocruiser was flying from Honolulu to San Francisco. After reaching 21,000 feet, engine 1 began to overspeed. The captain cut off the oil, but the propeller windmilled in the airstream, causing excessive drag. Drag increased fuel use, and the crew calculated that they didn't have enough fuel to reach San Francisco, so they had to ditch the plane in the ocean. You can see the pictures. Number 3 now, Air Canada Flight 143. Number 3. Flight 143, nicknamed the Gamili Glider, was a Boeing 767, which at the time of the accident was very new. It was heading to Edmonton, which mid-flight at 41,000 feet ran out of fuel. Luckily, the captain was an experienced glider pilot and managed to glide it to safety to an old airbase, Gamili. However, when the pilots lowered the gear, only the main gear fully came out. The nose gear only partially came out, which led to the pilots not being able to turn the plane. Number 2 now, Aero Republica Flight 7330. Doesn't look the greatest thing you ever saw. Flight 7330 was an Embraer ERJ-190-100AR from Cali Alfonso Bonilla Airport to Santa Marta Simon Bolivar Airport. The plane was on final to Santa Marta, and the pilots abandoned the first approach. When it touched down on the second approach, the plane simply did not have enough room to stop. Due to the runway being wet from the close sea, it skidded off the end of the runway and into the water. But luckily it was only the very edge of the ocean, so the plane didn't sink with anyone on board. After the incident, the plane was written off after being damaged beyond repair. And finally, number 1, US Airways Flight 1549. Flight 1549 took off from New York's LaGuardia Airport. 3 minutes after takeoff, the Airbus A320 suffered bird strikes from a flock of Canadian geese. The plane lost all engine power and tried to return to LaGuardia Airport. Captain Sully decided he couldn't reach an airport, so he prepared for a water landing in the Hudson River. After an amazingly light touchdown, the plane floated on the Hudson. All the passengers were standing on the wing of the slowly sinking plane. It was the Miracle on the Hudson. Did you enjoy? Please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. That's it. So goodbye.